Welcome back, everyone. Today we're deep diving into the heart of a 1999 Husaberg FE600. We're finally getting to pull apart this bike and give it a proper rebuild, step by step. From the engine teardown to putting everything back together, we'll break it down in detail. If you want to see the torque specs, if you want to see the timing, we'll put it all in there. It's going to be a good one to watch, so let's get started. In preparation for this, I've taken the engine out of the bike. I'm thinking about posting the video of taking the bike out of the frame, so let me know if you want to see it. If not, we'll just get started on the engine now. So this is it. Thing's bloody heavy. We've got our oil filter, clutch, electric start model, and the engine itself seems to be in really good condition. We can't see any cracking, no rusting. There is an oil leak on the bottom. So as you can see there, they've tried to seal it with some rubber sealant or whatever it is, but the oil's leaked completely through. And you'll see here when I pull the pin out, there's no oil in the engine. So that was the main thing to prompt this rebuild, is that oil's been leaking out of the engine, and we've got to just change the gaskets on it. Meaning we're going to have to pull it down till we crack the cases, pretty much. So to start, we're just going to start walking our way from the outside in. First things first, we'll take off the oil filter, super easy to do. Then we're going to flip the engine around and start taking off the covers. Now, I've actually ridden this bike before, and it rides really well. So we're hoping to get it right back to where it was. Now, the problem was that somebody apparently broke the carburetor, and I'm not sure how that happened, but it's split down the middle. So if anyone in Australia does have a carburetor for an FE600, feel free to contact the channel directly or comment below, and maybe we could do something and get this thing a proper rebuild and get the bike running properly. It's just really hard to track down one of those carburetors. But back to the video. Now we're inside. You can see the primary gear on the left, and we're just going to undo the clutch. The clutch is super simple on this bike. It's just a circlip underneath this clutch plate, which makes it a lot easier to get in and out of the bike. They've designed it really well. So this bike is the easiest bike I've ever worked on. Like, you take the circlip off there, take the washer off, and the whole clutch comes off. Usually in a normal bike, you have to hold the engine in place, you have to lock it from the other side, uncrack the nut, and then there's a couple other steps, but this was super simple. You take the face off, take the circlip, and I've noticed throughout this build that this has been designed really well to pull apart and fix. I'm guessing because Husaberg is a very small team, so whoever built the bike had to actually produce the bike. But it's just my opinion / theory. Gear selectors, everything looked quite good as we went through the bike. So the Kickstarter looked fine, the gear selector looked fine, the oil pump looks fine, and you can see here underneath it, there's no scarring or anything like that. So we're hoping we'll switch the gaskets, retime it, and hopefully it'll start once we find a carburetor. Very happy to see that once we took the head off, it was exceptionally clean, with the exception of this silicone blob on the cam chain. But nonetheless, there was no dirt, no rust, nothing that suggests that this bike hasn't had enough oil or is overheated at any point. So it's always good to see a clean internal. Once we've undone the head nuts, there's just a couple more Allen key bolts to take off, and then that head will disconnect from the barrel quite easily. The barrel and piston were exceptionally clean. There's no marking, there's no burrs, there's no anything really. So I don't actually think this bike has been ridden too hard or for too long since it's last had a rebuild. Now to get the drive gear off, this is a bit of a tricky one. You have to get a pulley. So as you can see, we're pulling it off. And the reason for that is the only way you can put that drive gear back on is by heating it in an oven at 100 degrees for 30 minutes, because the drive gear is going to expand and then it's going to contract on the shaft. So you'll see when we put it together that it's come fresh out of the oven. But you can't get that gear off without a pulley. I believe so, unless anyone's got a tip or trick that they can share below in the comments. As I was saying earlier, it's been engineered exceptionally well, and here we are, and it's already pulled apart and we're splitting the case. This was, again, by far the easiest bike that I've ever pulled apart, especially for being a 4-stroke. It's been a complete pleasure. And as you can see, the internals are all tight, clean, no rust, no dirt. So we're just going to replace the gasket and then start rebuilding it from there. But yeah, super easy bike to work on. We also got the gasket kit from Taffmeister's in the UK, and that's what we'll be using to rebuild this. First things first, between the cases where it splits, you don't actually need a gasket. So gasket glue will do fine because there's no pressure. You could really put gasket glue everywhere on this, with the exception of the head and the barrel, but we're going to use the gaskets that have been given to us. So just put a coating and then even it out with your finger just to make like a light surface area cover. And it's also super important that you wipe the surface clean of any oil, otherwise the gasket's not going to set. So wipe it down with some acetone on each side of the case before you apply the gasket glue. Once the glue's been applied, we're just going to put the cases back together. However, I did find it really hard to put it back on. Now, what I found helped was, once it was in this position, rotate where the clutch will sit. And for some reason, twisting that actually drops the case into place, because I was pushing down on it at this point and it wouldn't actually go down. So I feel like there might have been a gear in a way, but the moment you rotate it, it'll drop into place. From there, we're going to screw in the cam guides now that the cases are back together, and we're going to just start rebuilding the bottom end now. And this is what I was talking about earlier. We had these gears in the oven, and that is the only way you can put it on. Like, you can't hammer it on. You have to make sure it's hot, put it over the key on the shaft, and then as it cools, it's going to contract and hug the shaft. So I'm just tapping it in there to make sure it goes in far enough, but yeah, make sure you oven that 100 degrees, 30 minutes. It's recommended in the menu. From here, we're just going to rebuild the bottom end. So you've got the oil pump here. Now we're putting the gear selector mechanism on. And again, it's just putting a couple bolts together and it goes together. So it's super easy to put together. Once the Kickstarter mechanism's in, now it's just put the clutch plate on. So you just got to put that sleeve over the shaft and then put the base plate on. And yeah, again, there's no nut that you have to do up, so you just got to put everything together, put that last washer in, then put the circlip on, and that's the clutch system in. It's so simple. I wish every bike had that. Here I'm testing it, so I'm turning the clutch lever on the other side and making sure that the rod is pushing out. Now I'm going to pause the video here, but this base gasket actually caused us a heap of trouble. So when we put the barrel on and the head on, and then we tried to put the camshaft together, the chain wouldn't actually link up. It was almost like the chain was too short. And we tried using a chain puller to pull it together, and we just could not get the chain to link up. But as you can see, that gasket is about 2-3 mil thick for some reason. And we got the correct gasket kit for this bike. But I had to undo the engine again. I took out that gasket and just put gasket glue around the base because there's no pressure down there. And then the cam chain would fit over the cam again. So if you run into this issue, maybe take out the base gasket because you can't get rid of the head gasket because it needs to hold the pressure of the combustion. But if your chain has run short and you can't put it back over the cam, consider taking out the base gasket because that worked for us. You would have noticed that I didn't show anything about taking the magneto apart or putting it back together. But when we do the cam chain timing later in the video, I will give you some information on the timing marks. But to pull the cases apart, I didn't actually have to touch the timing, so I avoided that if I could. So to time it on the magneto level, I'd pause the video here and just read that, but you just got to find your ticks. Line it up with that little dash on the outside. And then on the cam level, you need to make sure that the knobs are facing down. And then if you notice this white screw you'll see in the next photo, it needs to be perpendicular to the head. So as you can see that little black screw, how it's got the silver screw onto the left of it, that black screw needs to be perpendicular with the head. And that's pretty much the cam lined up. It's actually not too hard. Luckily mine had a scratch mark on it that the guy before me had just scratched it, so I knew where it was. But just line up that bolt perpendicular to the top of the head and you'll be fine. Once that's all aligned and you linked up the chain, you're just going to tighten up the head bolts, and then the bike pretty much just goes back together from there. Now with the valves, from what I've read on Reddit, there's never been anything released that I could find, and I searched for ages, but you want to put the valves all the way in and then just unscrew it by 1/8 of a rotation. And apparently that's the accepted solution for valve clearances on the intake and exhaust ports. So now that the head, the barrel are all back together, we're just going to put the clutch in, slap the Kickstarter back on it, and then I'm pretty sure that's it. So as you would have noticed, this is a 15-minute video. I could have definitely gone into a lot more detail with measuring ring clearances, crankshaft clearances, balancing the crankshaft. There's a lot of things that I could have went into this, and truthfully, I just don't have the tools right now to do it. But if you found that this video was at least a help, just to show you what's inside of it, and am I missing a washer for this part, you can see me put this back on. I try and put it on as I've taken it off. If you found this was a great resource, feel free to like, comment, or subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts are. We're hoping if we can find a carburetor for this bike, we can do a proper restore and get it fixed up and running again. But yeah, this was the FE600 Husaberg engine rebuild, and hopefully we'll see you again in the next video. Thanks for watching, and yeah, feel free to like, subscribe, or comment any thoughts that you had. All of it's appreciated.